Hey guys, we are in LP5. I swear I have had the worst time with this Apple device. I was feeling a little under the weather yesterday, which I've got an ongoing issue that I'm gonna have a surgical procedure here pretty soon, but I couldn't get my audio to work. And actually with this MacBook Pro, I can't even get it to update my software. So I'm gonna have to call somebody about that. But anyway, thank you guys for being patient. Let's take a look at Learning Plan 5. Okay, Learning Plan 5 deals with ethics. So this is just a little quick overview. Ethics must be an outgrowth of an organization's culture. The law provides a floor of allowable behavior of the organization. However, most organizations set higher standards than just basic law. Code of ethics are developed by organizations to provide explicit guidelines for ethical conduct of their functions. So you can find this on NAU's website. So let's get to the learning activities. You're going to complete what level of ethical maturity assessment. We're going to hit on that in just a little bit. Read Chapter 5. Use the library to find and read the case study. Doesn't matter how we get there, really. A case of ethics. We'll talk about that in a few minutes also. You need to participate in discussions 5.1 and 5.2. And guys, make sure with your replies you add to the conversation. And, I see a lot of you guys do a really good job, but you've got 3. So you're just barely meeting the minimum requirement. So if you could do 5, that would be really helpful. And there's some that don't really add a whole lot, but they'll have 7 comments. So I can usually find 5 that add to the conversation. So you're also going to view the LP5 seminar, which is what you're doing now. The assessment is just going to be a summary, just like you did in 1 and 2 and last week. So during this learning plan, Dr. Salinas will host webinars on how to analyze a case study. So you guys probably need to participate in that. Okay, here's the assignment, ethics case study. So this is on the NAU website as well. In any good story, there's some backstory, a setup, characters, problem or conflict, and a decision that leads to consequences. A case study is just a story. Like stories, sometimes they have happy endings and sometimes they have sad endings. For graduate school, we usually use case studies without happy endings. So analysis of poor decisions or mistakes give the students the opportunity to analyze a situation and provide better alternatives for the company. So that kind of gives you a brief definition of what case studies are. So here, it just asks you to identify the important facts surrounding the case studies, identify the key issues. And like I said, guys, this is on the NAU website. I just wanted to touch on a couple of things. And make sure that you consider the following in your paper. A code of ethics that would cover the situation. What is included and excluded in the code. As Jim Snelling, what would you have done and why? How should the involved employees be handled? What other fallout or repercussions can you see stemming from this case? Okay, so our 5.2 assignment is your reflection. Okay, your grade for this assignment is comprised of 2 parts. Your 10 scheduled calls and an academic goal reflection write-up. You will earn 5 points for each scheduled call. And don't forget, guys, you can make up 1 in week 11. So you're going to submit a goal reflection write-up. So it's going to consist of, did you meet your goal for the course? If so, what are 3 things you did in the class that you believe contributed to your success? If not, what are the 3 things you can do in your next course to meet your academic goal? And what did you learn from this class that will help you meet educational goals you identified in your first discussion post? What topics do you need more help on? Were the scheduled calls helpful to you, and explain why? Or why not? Okay, so let's talk about moral philosophies. Moral philosophies is an area of philosophy concerned with theories of ethics and how we ought to live our lives. So there's 3 types: meta-ethics, normative ethics, and applied ethics. Meta-ethics is the most abstract area of moral philosophy. It doesn't ask what acts or what kind of acts are good or bad, right or wrong. Rather, it asks about the nature of the goodness and badness. What is it to be morally right or wrong? Then we have normative ethics. They are an attempt to provide a general theory that tells us how we ought to live. They seek to tell us how we can find out what things have what moral properties. It kind of provides a framework for ethics. Applied ethics, of course, is the most practical of the moral philosophies. It seeks to apply normative ethical theories to specific issues, telling us what is right or wrong for us to do. What in the world? I got some spelling issues right there. Most of the debates in applied ethics concern issues such as abortion, animal rights, and punishment. And this is a pretty good place for you guys to go and read a little bit more. So I'll give you this website. So what is organizational culture? It refers to a system of shared assumptions, values, and beliefs that show employees what is appropriate and inappropriate behavior. An organization's culture may be one of its strongest assets, as well as it's the biggest liability. In fact, it has been argued that organizations have a rare and hard to imitate organizational cultural benefit from it as a competitive advantage. And this was retrieved here. So this is like a really good little article here. I also provided right here organizational success and culture. I know that's in your little things you need to hit during this LP, but these are really good websites that will explain success and culture. So if you guys can, write these down and try to go over them. So we have the theory of moral development. You know, I broke this down. I didn't put all of these things in here. I just done, you know, kind of the most common. Pre-conventional morality, the first level morality, pre-conventional morality, can be further divided in two stages: obedience and punishments, and individualism and exchange. So when we look at punishment, you know, for example, we follow the law because we don't want to go to jail. I mean, that's kind of the punishment obedience orientation. Instrumental orientation is the stage. Sorry, guys. Hang on a second. So in this stage, the person is said to judge the morality of an action based on how it satisfies the individual needs of the doer, or the doer. For instance, a person steals money from another person because he needs that money to buy food or for his hungry children. The children tend to say that this action is morally right because of the serious need of the doer. Level 2 is conventional morality. The second level of morality involves stages 3 and 4 of moral development. Stage 3 is good boy, nice girl. In this stage, a person judges an action based on societal roles and social expectations before him. This is also known as the interpersonal relationships phase. For example, a child gives away her lunch to a street peasant because she thinks doing so means being nice. Stage 4 is law and order orientation. This stage includes respecting the authorities and following the rules, as well as doing a person's duty. In this stage, for instance, a police officer refuses the money offered to him under the table and arrests the offender because he believes it is his duty as an officer of peace and order. Then we have post-conventional morality. It includes stage 5 and 6, which is social contract orientation. In this stage, a person is to look at various opinions and values of different people before coming up with a decision on morality of the action. Okay, so stage 6 is universal ethical principles orientation. This is the final stage of moral reasoning. This orientation is when a person considers universally accepted ethical principles. The judgment may become innate and may even violate the laws and rules as a person becomes attached to his own principles of justice. Now, this is a pretty good article, too, and this is where I retrieved it from, so you guys take a look at it if you get a chance, because it goes into a lot more detail. Okay, so this is our summary, and this is a little bit shorter LP. The assessment, of course, which I told you guys earlier, is a summary of the PowerPoint presentation. You know, guys, make sure you look at grade mark for your grammatical errors. You know, I hate it you guys have to do that, but if I put in every grammatical error, it will take me 2 weeks to grade papers. So remember, it's right about where your originality report is. Go back into it once you get your Turnitin. When you click on the originality tab, there's a tab right beside it, this grade mark, so you can get it from there. And again, guys, make sure in discussions you add to the conversation. This is the last learning plan. Make sure assignments are submitted on time. Good luck to you all. Every one of you guys can do this, and I have been honored to be a part of your journey. If you guys need anything, just let me know. Thanks, guys.